Evolution. Evolution refers to the slow and continuous modification of inherited traits within a certain population over a long period of time. It occurs through the process of natural selection and may result in the formation of new species. Fossils. Fossils are the traces of ancient organisms and are not only the remains of the organism, but also rocks. Paleontologists find and study fossils in almost every environment, from the hot desert to the humid jungle. The fossil record can be used to create a phylogenetic tree that describes the relationships between living and extinct animals. The phylogenetic tree is a two-dimensional graph representing the evolutionary relationship between an organism from various other organisms. Based on differences in the nucleotide sequences in RNA, organisms can be classified into archaea, bacteria, and eukaryota accordingly. Theory of natural selection. Natural selection is a process that occurs in nature where individuals with favorable traits are more likely to survive and reproduce, passing on those traits to their offspring. Through the process of natural selection, the living organisms adapt and change. Individuals in a population with adaptive or favorable traits are more likely to survive and reproduce in that particular environment. The theory of natural selection was first formulated in the book Origin of Species. Most of the traits of an individual are inherited from parents to their offspring, but the inheritance of traits is unknown. Offspring organisms that have favorable characteristics are more likely to survive and have more offspring as compared to those individuals that have non-favorable characteristics. The concept of binomial nomenclature was introduced by Carolus Linnaeus. The scientific name consists of two different parts, such as genus, the first name, and the species, the second name. Example: the binomial nomenclature of potato is Solanum tuberosum. Extinction. Extinction is when there are no remaining individuals of a species still alive. The factors causing extinction are predators, diseases, increased competition for resources, catastrophic events, and climate changes. Antibiotic resistance. The spread of antibiotic resistance in bacteria is an example of evolutionary adaptation by natural selection. Bacteria can become resistant to antibiotics through mutations that alter the cellular targets of antibiotics. As a result of antibiotic resistance, medicines become ineffective and infections become increasingly difficult or impossible to treat. Bacteria develop antibiotic resistance through mutations that enable them to survive and reproduce in the presence of antibiotics. Classification of organisms. Carl Woese developed the three-domain system of classification. Archaea, bacteria, and eukaryota were the three domains. The Linnaean system of classification, developed by Carl Linnaeus in the 18th century, is a hierarchical grouping of organisms based on shared physical traits. Linnaeus classified organisms into 7 levels: kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. Abiogenesis. Abiogenesis is the process by which life arises from non-living matter, such as organic compounds. The theory of evolution posits that all life shares a common ancestor. The strongest evidence for evolution is the existence of transitional fossils, which demonstrate gradual changes in form over time. The term species refers to a group of organisms with common characteristics that can interbreed and produce fertile offspring. Common descent. Common descent is an effect of speciation, in which multiple species of a population derive from a single ancestor. This is supported by substantial evidence from various scientific disciplines. Evolution is the gradual change of inherited traits in a population over time. The concept of genes, variation, and inheritance was not discovered until several decades after the publication of Darwin's theory. Darwin's theory was met with significant controversy and resistance from some religious leaders during the 19th century. This was because it appeared to challenge certain interpretations of religious beliefs and faith. MRSA can cause severe and life-threatening infections. It's important to note that MRSA can lead to serious and potentially fatal infections, affecting different parts of the body, such as bones, joints, and the heart.